G'day YouTube, welcome back to the VK8 FOS YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about satellite TV again. More specifically, we're going to be talking about NeumoDVB, which is a blind scanning DVB-S satellite TV front end for Linux. Thank you very much to Aaron from CM Executor for getting it working for us. This is my part 1 video, which we did 1 or 2 weeks ago, where I showed you guys how to build and install this application in DragonOS FocalX. And then in part 2 today, I'm just going to show you guys some very, very basic, high-level sort of things that you can do with NeumoDVB. This is not going to be a comprehensive guide. I'm just going to show you guys how to configure the bare minimum to get it working. So you can do blind scanning, and you can also watch television with it. And we're also going to stream to VLC with it as well. So yeah, just don't forget, when you're playing around with NeumoDVB and you need to figure out how to do something, DeepThought, which is the author of NeumoDVB, has got some really comprehensive and excellent documentation here. So basically every single feature of NeumoDVB is like pretty much documented here. And each documentation file is just pages and pages and pages of information. So again, we have to refer to the meme, read the README file, and all your questions will be answered. That's how I learned how to use this application anyway. So, all right, let's get started, shall we? Again, have to apologize for the low resolution and the sort of slow frame rate. I can't really do much about that. I need to run Linux on this particular PC, which isn't the most powerful thing getting around, and because it's got my DVB-S receiving card in it. So just have to deal with that for now. It seems to be running okay for now. So, yeah, let's get started, shall we? So we're going to launch NeumoDVB by running this command in the top terminal window here. So in part 1, we compiled and installed NeumoDVB to this file inside of our home directory. So I'm going to run that command. And as we can see, it's actually created a folder in our NeumoDVB. It's actually created a NeumoDVB settings folder inside of our home directory. So if you guys need to kill your configuration files to restart because you broke something or something like that, you can just always delete this file, and then you can close NeumoDVB. And then we can just rerun NeumoDVB again, and the configuration, like default configuration files, will be created there for us. So that's very cool. Okay, so this screen here, this is the actual screen where you'll watch television. So that's the first thing that shows up when we launch NeumoDVB. Obviously, we can't do anything yet because we don't have any TV channels programmed into it yet. So what we're going to do first, we're actually going to see if we actually have a DVB-S RF front end installed on our computer. So, you know, it might be a USB tuner, or it might be like a PCIe tuner card inside your PC. In part 1, we actually installed the drivers for a TBS 6903, I believe. So if we go to lists and go to front ends, I've actually got two tuner cards. I've actually got 2 tuner cards installed on my computer. I have a TBS 5927 USB and a 6903, which is dual tuner. And the fact that these are being displayed inside of our front end list means that we successfully installed the drivers, and the hardware can be used by NeumoDVB for tuning satellite television. So that's very, very cool. So what we're going to do now is we need to configure our LNB. That's the next step here. So I'm going to go to lists and then LNBs, and then I'm going to go to edit, and then I'm going to press new. And so for all intents and purposes, you guys will probably be using a universal type LNB. However, I'm not doing that. I'm actually using a wideband LNB. So I'm going to choose WDB, which is wideband, but you guys will most probably be using universal, okay? So just ignore the fact that I'm choosing wideband, okay? And then the next thing we have to do is we have to double click under networks. and we have to select New. So in this part here, there seems to be some bugs in the GUI here. So sometimes if you click in the wrong place inside these windows, you'll get heaps of like question marks showing up here. That means you've basically got to quit NeumoDVB and maybe restart it. And if that doesn't fix it, you've got to close NeumoDVB and then delete your configuration files, okay? So yeah, be very careful where you're clicking around here. So I'm just going to single click around LNB pause. I'm going to single click under UCells pause, and then I'm going to click done. And it doesn't matter, you can just either press cancel or OK for this prompt window here. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to double click under connections. Now this one is particularly susceptible to that bug where I said if you click in the wrong place, you'll probably have to restart the whole process over again. So be very careful where you're clicking once again. We're going to press new. Now I know for a fact that I have an LNB connected to tuner 1. So I've got tuner 0 and tuner 1 on this dual tuner card. So I'm going to choose 1. For you guys, it'll probably be just maybe the first option or whatever, but mine is definitely on the second input. Okay, so this next one is a bit confusing. And so what we need to do is we need to double click on none. We need to just select any 3 of these, and then we go back to none again. If you don't do that, you'll press done and then nothing will show up here. So I'm going to press done and we can see that I've got a connection now. So if you guys didn't change your rotor control to another one of these values here and then back to none again, and you press done, nothing will show up here, okay? It seems to be a bug. So you need to select something and then select nothing, if that makes sense. And just while we're here, another thing, you guys can see here that the, where are we here? You guys can see here that some of the fonts aren't rendering or displaying properly. This isn't anything the author has done, right? This is an error of the GTK GUI toolkit. There's too many different configurations that people run in Linux, and it's just impossible to just cover every single person's Linux computer on the planet Earth. So they sort of try and meet everybody halfway, which means that in DragonOS FocalX, the fonts aren't rendering properly, and you can see that some of the text is being cut off. If you're struggling to fit everything on the screen, guys, don't forget you can actually change the widths of the column here. So if you've got stuff that's rendering outside the window here, you can always just resize your columns to fit everything inside the screen, okay? Okay, that's everything we need to do now. So we're actually ready to do a blind scan now. Well, first, before we blind scan, we have to scan the RF spectrum, right? So I'm going to click on the DX menu. I'm going to go to Spectrum. And this is going to bring up a separate window for us. Yeah, I think you guys can see everything. Yep, okay, cool. So again, you guys will be using a universal LNB. So you guys will probably be scanning from so just down here, I'll turn your attention down here. You guys will probably be scanning 10.7 gigahertz to 12.75 gigahertz. I'm not doing that because I only have a wideband LNB on. So my LNB supports 100 megahertz bandwidth, spectrum width, from 11750, which is 11.75 gigahertz. But yeah, don't forget, you guys will probably just be using 10700. This is for KU band only, by the way. I don't play with C-band, so I'm not sure what you'll be scanning for C-band. That's another kettle of fish, which I don't really have the space or the permission from my wife to erect such a large satellite dish for C-band. KU band dishes, you can get away with really small ones because the beams are powerful and highly focused in one direction, whereas C-band is more like lower power and the signal can sort of cover like a large portion of Earth's surface. So again, you need very large dishes for C-band, which I don't think my wife's going to let me do that. So I'm just playing with KU band for now, okay? And what we're going to do now is once we've configured our scanning ranges, we're just going to confirm that H and horizontal polarization and vertical polarization is selected. That's selected by default, so you won't have to play with that. But again, just double check anyway. And then we're going to hit Get Spectrum. And this might take a while, guys. So when I say a while, it might take a minute or something like that. So it's scanning horizontal polarization. So, you know, radio waves could be polarized in one orientation and they can be polarized in the other. Here on Earth, like just say that my wife's brush here is an antenna, for example. Here on Earth, in a gravity well, we have, like if you see an antenna just pointing up like this on like a car, for example, this is called vertical polarization. And when you see sort of an antenna going sideways like that, that's called horizontal polarization. Satellite signals work in the same way. And here we go. So anyone that's familiar with software-defined radio is probably feeling a familiar feeling right now. This is more or less called an FFT. It's just showing us, so down here, this sort of horizontal line that goes down the bottom, that's called the noise floor. So that's just like our man-made RF radiation, natural radiation, background radiation, and yeah, 3% of the noise floor is actually residual radiation left over from the Big Bang 13.8 billion years ago. So it's pretty cool to actually see that on a screen. And yeah, we can see all these spikes here protruding from the noise floor. So these are actually signals from the satellite. So on this axis of our graph here, we've actually got the intensity of the signal, and down the bottom axis we have the we've got the frequency basically. So this satellite I'm targeting is called Intelsat 19. So the signals start about here, about 12,240 the signals start at, and they go all the way up until 12.75 gigahertz. And yeah, we can see here that we've got some very, very nice, strong spikes here. So we're definitely going to find something, I dare say. And now that we've done that, we are now going to refer our attention down to the bottom left corner, and we're going to hit Blind Scan All. And then what that is going to do now, we can see up here in the top right-hand corner now, we can actually see that we've found, well, it thinks it's found 54 potential signals. So now it's going to try and get a lock on each of those signals, and then it's going to scan to see what's inside those signals, and then hopefully it's going to export it to a list inside NeumoDVB so we can have a look exactly what we found. So this is probably going to take about 6 minutes, guys. So I'll probably turn my microphone off and might speed up the video in post-production for you guys. See you shortly. Okay, so that took, as we can see here, it took 5 minutes and 39 seconds to scan 100 megahertz from 11,750 to 12,750. So not as fast as, you know, some Windows applications, but still not too bad, I think, in the grand scheme of things. So it's giving us some stats as well. So it scanned a total of 19 potential signals coming from this satellite. It locked 11 of them. 8 of them were DVB format, I guess, and 8 of them failed. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So we'll just press OK on that. And I don't know if this is sort of not in my script here, guys, but I think we can actually manually lock something. So I'm going to choose something from this list here. This is all the frequencies that it's found. So this one here I know is television. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select that, hopefully. I've never tried this before, but Maybe we can manually lock it here, potentially. No, I can't see that. Again, oh yeah, here we go. Yep, okay, so I know for a fact that there's television on a frequency of 12,606. The polarization is horizontal, and the symbol rate is 30,000. And then I'm going to press tune. And then we've got a lock. So this is a pretty cool feature here. So this here is called the constellation, right? So this is showing us the, not an RF engineer here, guys, but the kind of modulation is called phase shift keying, PSK. So this is just showing us like the symbols. So this is the diagram of the symbols, I think, in the PSK modulation. So that's a very, very cool feature, being able to actually visualize the signal, the PSK signal. So yeah, that's very fun. So we don't actually need this window anymore. So yeah, we're going to say goodbye to it. It served us very well. Thank you for that, this window. And then we're back to the actual NeumoDVB window itself. So now I'm going to show you guys how to actually watch television now. So the NeumoDVB has an inbuilt player. And what we're going to do is we're just going to confirm that we found some services. So services could be anything, could be data, could be television. We're going to go to lists and services, and we can see I've got a heap of television channels here. So we've got some feed channels. For the satellite enthusiasts, know what feeds are. Feeds are things that aren't supposed to be seen by the public. We've got some, just some probably encrypted pay TV channels here. We can see over here, it's giving us the padlock symbol on a few of them, this is definitely a pay TV subscription service. We're not authorized to watch that. And yeah, we've got another feed channel down here. We've got some audio only channels down here. Gives us the type. We've got radio and TV, 2 types here. So yeah, that means we've definitely found some radio and TV. So what we can do now is we can actually go to view, and we can go to live screen. Now the player, like the media player, is not that intuitive. So make sure you guys go to the documentation, and I believe you go to viewing, and to actually play television, there's actually keyboard shortcuts, right? You can't just double click or press, there's no play button in that. It's actually all keyboard shortcuts. So I believe Control and Enter is the play button, I believe. So I just press that. There we go. We've got a feed. So this is a feed from a television station in Australia. I'll just turn this down a bit. Sorry about that. This is a television station in Australia called Channel 9. Sorry, I'll turn that down. And yeah, that's just a link between, I guess, different news stations and stuff like that. We've got another one here, so that's number 3. We've actually got number 4 here. See if there's anything interesting on that. It's probably more of the same, yep. And I don't really want to play too much television in case I get copyright strike, but let's play this one here. I don't believe this one would have a copyright here. This is like a religious channel of some kind. So yeah, just make sure, like, you guys, highlight. You can actually point and click with the mouse which television station you want, and then the keyboard shortcut is Control Enter to play. And I believe you can stop the playback of the TV transponder by going stop like that. But to play them, it's Control Enter, okay? What else do we have here? I don't really want to play too much of this stuff just because it could be copyrighted. Let's just play some television here. This is a foreign TV channel here, so it probably doesn't have a copyright system with YouTube. So let's be naughty and give it a crack anyway. So I'm going to hit Control Enter. And now I believe we have some, like, maybe Greek television or something like that potentially. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, and initially I thought that audio was broken, but the audio seems to be playing fine now. So I don't know what changed between the last time I recorded a video about NeumoDVB or last time I played with it to now. I don't know, but apparently audio works, which is great. Okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to stream to VLC now. So we're going to use NeumoDVB to receive the satellite signal, and then we're just going to stream it via TCP to VLC, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to go to DVB-S muxes now, which is lists and DVB muxes. And this shows us all the stuff we just found on Intelsat 19. So this is actually showing us like data channels and everything. So when you go to lists and services, that's just showing you TV and radio. If you go to lists and DVB-S muxes, that's showing you everything. So these channels here that say GCS, that stands for generic continuous stream. These are most probably data, right? Maybe like internet downlinks or something like that. You know, it's data traffic, IP traffic essentially. And I can't find a way to send that data to the decoding apps with NeumoDVB yet. So unfortunately, that's a domain left to Windows, unfortunately. I've had a few people email me about that. So maybe if anybody knows about how to take a generic stream and send it to a transport stream file on Linux, and then we can decode that file later, please let me know. That'll be great. So I'm going to I'm going to target this one here. So I know for a fact that this is a feed by Channel 9 television station in Australia. And hopefully this will work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight the television transponder I want to forward to VLC. And then I'm going to go to, I believe it's control. Yeah, so we're going to go to control. And then we're going to go to add stream. And we can just leave all these values as default. So I'm going to press OK. And then we're going to go to, I believe it's lists, streams. And we can see that my stream that I just selected is now showing in this menu here. So I'm going to open up a second terminal window now. And then I'm just going to run this command to launch VLC. And VLC is going to attempt to play UDP port of 999, which I can't remember if it was TCP or UDP. Either way, whichever one it is, I'll hit enter on that. And then hopefully, okay, so we don't have any video. Hopefully the video's coming soon. Might just be catching up a bit. We've got music, of course. So we've definitely got something there. Let's try it again. I'll quit VLC. Hopefully we get some video this time, hopefully. There we go. That's better. So, yeah, again, this channel here, it's just like they call it a backhaul link. So, I guess like the main TV station in Australia makes all the news packages, and then they use this channel on the satellite to beam them all over Australia. It's just, I guess it's just more reliable than IP and faster than IP. They can just shoot it over the satellite, press the record button, replay it, and all the news stations around Australia have their news packages for the airing in the at night. So, or airing for the evening news, for example. So, quite often this channel here will just say stop and check, which means the packages have been replayed, and whoever's controlling the recording machine can stop it and, you know, extract all the backhaul news segments. So anyway, that's we don't need to talk about that. We're talking about NeumoDVB here. So yeah, that's how you stream to VLC. So yeah, that's very, very cool. Now, I don't think I have any... I think that's really it. That's sort of probably the main features that people really care about. There's a majority of other stuff too. Like we can we can, for people that have like satellite dish rotators, you can configure that kind of stuff, but I haven't gotten that far yet. So I'm pretty sure that what I've given you guys in this video now should be enough just to get you guys started. And then if you have any other questions about certain features, you guys should just be able to go to the documents folder on the NeumoDVB GitHub and check out all the awesome documentation that DeepThought's given us. So yeah, that's really all I've got for today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Yeah, let me know if you guys have any luck installing and running NeumoDVB. I know there's not a great deal of you guys out there that are actually into satellite television. It's a very esoteric hobby that myself and a few other people enjoy. I know there's a handful of us on my channel and CM Executor's channel that enjoy this kind of stuff. So yeah, again, massive thank you to Aaron from CM Executor. I tried for months and months and months to get this thing running in on Ubuntu, basically, which what DragonOS FocalX is built upon, and failed. And then we asked Aaron about it, and he got it working for us. So yeah, big thank you to Aaron for that. And yeah, that'll conclude this video today. Yeah, thanks very much for watching. I'll catch you guys all later. Bye.